for some Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
And good Saturday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you feel the vice? Even on this Thanksgiving weekend Saturday? I can. Because the Miami Heat are in action tonight at the Kaseya Center as they host the Detroit Pistons in what should be not only an important test for the Heat, but also a game where it's not only going to be high scoring, but also going to be filled with high octane moments. Cade Cunningham and the company are in the house from the Motor City, which means that the Detroit Pistons are the number one team in the East, and they've been on a hot streak. However, the Heat have also been on a hot streak of their own, led by Bam Adebayo, a returning Tyler Hero, and a supporting cast led by Jaime Jaquez Jr. So here are my 3 keys for tonight's game. Key number 1, contain Cade Cunningham. I know that's an arduous task to really think about. Guarding a guy who can get hot at any point on the floor. Now that's daunting. But Miami's defense is stalwart and up to the task, and I know that's what they are. They will do just enough to stifle Cade Cunningham. Key number 2, continue that dominance under the paint. Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart are no pushovers, especially in the paint for Detroit. But Miami will need to match their bigs with Kel'el Ware and Bam Adebayo, as well as showing some grit, heart, intensity, and tenacity. Those are the 4 things that they will need to dominate inside the paint, as well as grabbing rebounds. And key number 3, while on the subject of rebounding, the Heat will definitely need to come up big when it matters the most, because getting offensive rebounds and second chance points will be more than crucial for tonight's game. The Heat continue to improve their offensive rebounding, and especially in a game like this, they will need it more than ever. So right now the players are warming up, they're getting ready, and I'll be back after the player introductions, and we'll get ready for the warm-up and the tip-off. So keep it locked right here. football. And we are back. Here's a look of our starting lineups. Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, and Bam Adebayo. And for the Detroit Pistons, we have Kate Cunningham. Isaiah Stewart is playing for center. I didn't see the rest of that Detroit Pistons lineup, but we do get former Heat player in the building, Duncan Robinson. Of course, he was instrumental as part of those NBA Finals teams during the Jimmy Butler era. It was great to see Duncan Robinson back in Kaseya Center, even though he is playing for the Detroit Pistons, who we ended up trading for Simone Fontecchio. So Miami wins the opening tip, and we are action underway. Bam misses the basket, rebound by Isaiah Stewart. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Cunningham kicks it out to Duncan Robinson. Out to Cunningham. Corner three for Detroit. And that one falls. Tobias Harris gets the basket, and Detroit are on the board. Here comes Miami now. Bam has it. Almost loses the ball, but he gets fouled. Bam will go to the line shooting 2 free throws. That foul is on Isaiah Stewart. Bam makes the first. And Bam makes both free throws. So we have ourselves a 1-point game. And here come the Pistons. Duncan Robinson kicks it out to Isaiah Stewart. Back out to Robinson for the corner three. He misses. Rebound by Bam. Bam kicks it out to to Norman Powell. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul is on Tobias Harris. Wiggins makes the first, and we have ourselves a tie game at 3. And Wiggins makes both free throws. So it's now 4-3 Miami. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Drives into the lane and gets the layup, and the Pistons retake the lead. Here comes Miami in a hurry. They give it to Tyler Hero. Hero kicks it out to Wiggins, and Wiggins misses that 3. Rebound by Detroit. Here come the Pistons, looking to drive into the lane. And that one's going to go out of bounds, and it will be Heat ball. Amen Thompson coming up short with that layup. Detroit will have his side out instead. They give it to Duncan Robinson. Misses that 3. Rebound by Miami. Here come the Heat now. That's a 3 on the way. And go Norman Powell Rangers. 3 for Miami. The Heat lead by 2. Here come the Pistons. They give it to Isaiah Stewart. Gets the ball stripped away from him. And here come the Heat. Tyler Hero finds the open player. Miami swinging the ball around. They give it to Tyler Hero. Blocked by Isaiah Stewart. And that's another miss 3 from Miami. He continues to swing the ball around. And that's another miss. And here come the Pistons. Looking to tie the game at 7. They're swinging the ball around. And they get the basket. Tobias Harris with that one. And we are all tied up at 7. Here come the Heat. Wiggins almost loses the ball. And Norman Powell gets the layup. And the Heat retake the lead. Cade Cunningham brings it up for Detroit. And the ball is knocked loose, so it will remain with the Pistons. Nice spin and layup by Norman Powell. Very fantastic play. Detroit will have his side out. Tobias Harris kicks it out to Cade Cunningham. That's a three. And Cade Cunningham knocks down that three to give the Pistons the lead. Tyler Hero missing on that one, but it will be over and back. So it will go back to the Pistons. Right, here comes Cade Cunningham. Looking to drive into the lane. Being guarded by Tyler Hero. And Cade Cunningham gets the easy layup. And the Pistons lead by 3. Here come the Heat. Bam being guarded by Isaiah Stewart. That's a 3 from Tyler Hero. It's another miss. Rebound by Tobias Harris. And that's going to go out of bounds on Detroit. It will be Heat ball. Norman Powell. He gets fouled. He gets fouled by Isaiah Stewart. So that will send Norman Powell to the line for 2 free throws. Nice fake out by Norman Powell. Norman Powell makes the first. We have ourselves a 2-point game. And Norman Powell will miss the second. Right now the Pistons looking to extend their lead. Right, here come the Pistons. They give it to Cade Cunningham. Cunningham guarded by Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Duncan Robinson. That's the open 3. And Duncan Donut Robinson knocks down that 3 to give the Pistons the lead again. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Bam for 3. And Bam Bam Adebayo knocks it down. And the Heat are within 2. Here comes Detroit. Looking to take it to the lane, but it's stolen away. Here come the Heat. They got numbers. Bam Adebayo recovers the ball. And we're all tied up at 15. Sorry, that was Andrew Wiggins. Now here comes Duncan Robinson. Kicks it out to Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham gives it to Amen Thompson. And that one will go in for the Pistons. Here comes Norman Powell. Gives it to Tyler Hero. Out to Bam. To Wiggins. That's a 3. And Wiggins misses that one. And here comes Cade Cunningham. Cunningham directing traffic. And overthrows that ball to Isaiah Stewart, and that will prompt a Miami Heat timeout. The Pistons lead 17-15 in this one. And we are back. Score is 17-15. Detroit. Miami so far needs to get back on defense, but they also need to attack the rim more so they can draw fouls against this Detroit Pistons team. And not to mention that they need to get Tyler Hero going on offense. He's missed quite a lot of shots, but let's see what he can do right now. And of course, the Miami Heat, they have made it through to the knockout stage of the NBA Cup, where they will face the Orlando Magic in the quarterfinals. And of course, joining them are the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors. So right now, Miami needs to take care of business on their home floor. Heat is swinging the ball around, and they come up with that miss. And here come the Pistons. Cade Cunningham gives it to Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart gets the layup over Kel'el Ware, and the Pistons go up by 4. Here comes Miami now. They gave it to Davion Mitchell. Gets his shot blocked, but that will be a foul on Detroit. I think that foul is going to be on Isaiah Stewart. That foul is going to be on Isaiah Stewart for the body-on-body collision. Davion Mitchell knocks down the first. So then we have ourselves a 3-point lead. It's now a 3-point game for Detroit. And Davion Mitchell knocks down the second free throw. So it will be a 2-point game for Detroit. Davion Mitchell this season is making 9.8 points per game for Miami. But I'm pretty sure he will pick up his production as the season progresses. And of course, for Detroit, Jalen Duren, he's out with a lower leg contusion. Alright, here come the Pistons. Isaiah Stewart being guarded by Kel'el Ware. Misses that layup, and here comes Miami. Andrew Wiggins gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. This is very good for Miami. Getting to the free throw line against a very physical Detroit team is much needed. That foul is on Ausar Thompson. Andrew Wiggins knocks down the first, and we now have ourselves a 1-point game. Tobias Harris will come out of the game for Detroit. And Andrew Wiggins knocks down both free throws. So we're all tied at 19. And for the Heat, Jaime Jaquez Jr. is out tonight with a groin injury. So both teams are without their X factors for tonight's game. The Pistons coming up short on that 3-pointer, and here comes Miami. Bam has the ball, loses it, and it goes right back to Detroit. But Miami's there to hustle down and get the ball back, and they carelessly throw it away. So it will be back to the Pistons. Tyler Hero's coming into the game for Miami. Alright, here comes Detroit. That's a 3. And that's a miss. Here comes Miami now. Kyle Ware has it. Gives it to Drew Smith. Back out to Kyle Ware. To Jovic. Here comes Nikola Jovic. And Kyle Ware is there for the alley-oop. And the Heat lead by 2. Yep. Hold on for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back. We're all tied up at 23. And Detroit missing their layups right now, as that ball will go out of bounds. And we will have a timeout from the Pistons, as both teams are now tied at 23. And we are back. Score is tied at 23. The Pistons will have the ball side out. That is a corner 3 from Duncan Robinson. And the Pistons go up by 3. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. Out to Jovic. To Fontecchio. Comes Pelle Larsson. Larsson comes up short. And here comes the Pistons again. They give it to Duncan Robinson again. And that's going to be a blocking foul on Miami. Duncan Robinson is down. Needs to be helped up a bit. That was a nice block by Kel'el Ware. But too much of his body got in the way. So already, so it'll be, not only will it be goaltending for the goaltending on Miami, which will award Detroit 2 points, but Duncan Robinson will go to the line for the M1. And Duncan Robinson knocks down the M1 as the Pistons go up by 6. Here comes Miami. Fontecchio has the ball. Jovic kicks it out to, it's a corner 3. That's a miss for Miami. Here comes Detroit. Miami almost came up with a steal, but that's going to be right back with Detroit. The Pistons right now on a 10-2 run. Another loose ball, and that will be on the Pistons. Miami will have the ball. And here comes the Pistons again. And a nice looking layup for Detroit as they go up by 8. The Pistons now on a 12-2 run. Another 3 from Tyler Hero, and he misses it. Rebound by Kel'el Ware, and no go. And here come the Pistons again. They're looking to extend their lead. And that's a nice layup for Detroit. They lead by 10 as they go on a 14-2 run. And that will prompt a Miami Heat timeout. Coach Eric Spoelstra is not loving what he is seeing right now. And I'm not loving what I'm seeing from Tyler Hero. The Pistons lead 33-23. And we are back. Score is 33-23. Detroit. Miami now has the ball. So far, Detroit has 20 points inside the paint to Miami's 8. Miami loses the ball again. and Detroit gets the layup, and they will go for the and one. Ron Holland gets getting that layup, and Miami needs to figure out something in a hurry. Yet another blown opportunity on defense for Miami. Ron Holland now going to the line. And he knocks down the and one. Here comes Pala Larson to Drew Smith. Delaware missing that layup. Detroit coming up big again. Detroit looking for another layup. Can't get their shot blocked. Here comes the Heat. And that will end the first quarter. The score is 36-23 Detroit. Stick around, because I'll be back for the second quarter. And we are back. Score is 36-23 Detroit. The Pistons will have the ball. Duncan Robinson will inbound. Alright, Detroit are passing the ball around. They come up short with that possession, and here come the Heat. Nikola Jovic missing that layup. And there he is again for the rebound and the putback. Jovic will go to the line for the and one. Nice play from Nikola Jovic, not giving up on the play itself. Jovic missing that layup, missing that and one. Drew Smith kicks it out to Jovic. Finds Drew Smith. And Kelly Ware gets the dunk for Miami. The Heat trail by 9 in this one. Kelly Ware with 6 points off 60% shooting from the field. And here comes Detroit. They come up with that miss. Rebound by Miami. And that will send Drew Smith to the line for 2 free throws. Miami is definitely working hard right now after that very poor first quarter. Drew Smith knocks down the first, and we now have ourselves an 8-point game. Jenkins was the one who came up with that foul on Drew Smith. And Drew Smith goes 1 of 2 from the line. Here come the Pistons. Got the 3 on the way. Duncan Robinson coming up with that miss. Here comes Tyler Hero. Kicks it up to Kelly Ware. They give it to Drew Smith. Back out to Kelly. Miami loses the ball, but there was a foul on the play. Nikola Jovic was the one who got fouled. Jenkins got a little too aggressive with Jovic. Right, Miami will have his side out. Here comes Tyler Hero. He misses that one, and that's another foul on Detroit. That will send Tyler Hero to the line for 2 free throws. Tyler Hero makes the first, and now it's a 7-point game. And Tyler Hero makes both free throws, so it's now a 6-point game. Here comes Detroit. Duncan Robinson now passes it out to Ron Holden. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Detroit. So Detroit now with 8 turnovers. Miami has 5. Here comes the Heat. And Kelly Ware is there for the putback. And the Heat are down by 4. And that will prompt a timeout for the Detroit Pistons. Detroit leads 36-32, but the Heat are storming back. And we will be back for more Miami Heat action. And we are back. Score is 36-32 Miami, and the Heat have been storming their way back into this one. The Heat have been thriving at the free throw line as well as taking it to the hole against the Pistons. And the Pistons lose the ball, and that's a knockdown three from Tyler Superhero. Finally get himself on the board as the Heat trail by 1, and they go on a 12-0 run. And of course that foul is on the Heat. Drew Smith coming away with that steal and finding Tyler Hero for his first 3 points in this game. Alright, here comes Detroit. And that's a corner 3 as the Pistons go up by 4. Here comes Jovic. Gives it to Kelly Ware. Jovic almost loses the ball, being guarded by Duncan Robinson. And Jovic misses that basket. Here come the Pistons. Duncan Robinson now has the ball. And he comes up with that layup. And that's another steal from Detroit. And the Pistons are now back up by 8. Here come the Heat. They had a 1-point lead, but now the Pistons are storming back. Cade Cunningham now back in the game, and he gets the layup. And the Pistons go up by 10. Detroit now on a 9-0 run. Here comes Miami. Kelly Ware gets the putback. The Heat trail by 8. And Miami comes away with that rebound. And they come away with that miss. Rebound by Detroit. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Being guarded by Drew Smith. And Cade Cunningham will go to the line for the and 1. Nice drive to the basket by Cade Cunningham. And that foul was on Drew Smith. So he and Tyler Hero will take a seat as Xavier Mitchell will come in the game for Miami. Okay, Cunningham comes up with that miss. And here come the Heat. They find Andrew Chief Wiggins knocks down that 3, and the Heat are within 7. Here comes Detroit. They're swinging the ball around. Miami comes up with that steal. Here come the Heat. They got numbers. And they get the layup. And the Heat are within 5. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Cunningham being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out. That's a corner 3. And Detroit knocks it down. The Pistons go up by 8. Javonte Green with that corner 3. Here comes Miami. And they get the basket. Davion Mitchell came up with that layup. And here comes the Pistons. That's a missed three, and here comes the Heat. Bam pushes it up to the floor, but throws an errant pass, and it will be Detroit ball. Here comes Isaiah Stewart. He gets the hook over Bam as the Pistons go up by 8. Here comes Miami. That's going to be a foul on Ausar Thompson. Detroit so far has been dominating this game. Andrew Wiggins goes to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first. Ausar Thompson will come out of the game for Detroit. And Andrew Wiggins makes both free throws. So it's now a 6-point game for Miami. And here comes Cade Cunningham. Cunningham being guarded by Wiggins. That's a fadeaway. And Detroit knocks it down. Tobias Harris getting that basket. And here comes Miami. That's a 3. And Pelle Larsson knocks it down. The Heat are within 5. Here comes Detroit. They're looking for another 3. They miss. And here comes that corner 3. And Detroit knocks it down. They go up by 8. Miami missing that layup. And here comes Detroit. And that will send Ivy to the line for 2 free throws. Ivy makes the first, and we have ourselves a 9-point game. And Ivy makes both free throws. So now the Heat trail by 10, excuse me. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Miami. So we'll go right back to Detroit. The Heat were once on a 12-0 run, cutting into Detroit's lead. So far, the Pistons have rebuilt that lead. And that's another missed 3 for Miami. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. That will send Ivy back to the line again for 2 free throws. Ivy knocks down the first. And Ivy makes both free throws. So we now have a 12-point lead for Detroit. Jaden Ivey now. So far with, I think, 4 points in this one. Here goes Miami. And Bam knocks down the basket. So Miami now has a 10-point deficit to overcome. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the Pistons. That one's on Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham getting way too physical with Davion Mitchell now in that exchange. Alright, Tyler Hero's back in the game for Miami. Here comes the Pistons. All right, Bam Adebayo coming up with that ooh, and that was going to be a very physical turnover, and then we'll go right back to the Pistons. That should have been a foul on Detroit, but it will prompt the Pistons timeout. The Pistons lead 61-51. Or you? And we are back. Score is 61-51. Detroit. Miami once chipped away at the lead, going on a 12-0 run, and looked poised to retake the lead. But now Detroit has not only rebuilt that lead, but now also have possession of the ball. Alright, Detroit will have a side out. Duncan Robinson gives it to Cade Cunningham. Cunningham, being guarded by Bam, the spin, and he gets a layup. Detroit leads by 12. Cade Cunningham so far with 15 points in this game, going 7 to 12 from the field. And that's going to be another Detroit rebound. They give it to Cunningham. Rebound by Bam Adebayo. Here comes Norman Powell. And that's going to be another Detroit rebound. Detroit has been shooting 56% from the field. Miami, 37%. They give it to Isaiah Stewart. And that one's going to be another layup. Detroit so far, they're now on an 11-2 run. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. They kick it out for 3. And that 3 is good from Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero so far with 8 points, going 2 for 6 from 3-point land. Cade Cunningham now has the ball. And he effortlessly gets the dunk. Not one player on that Heat side didn't even bother to put up any defensive effort. And the basket is missed again by Miami. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Ball's knocked loose. And that will be out of bounds on Detroit. Cade Cunningham was the one who last touched it, and he is arguing with the ref. The referee's trying to console him, trying to explain what happened. But that was definitely a Pistons turnover. Definitely one of the foul. Cade Cunningham thought he was pushed down to the ground by Norman Powell. I apologize again, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So it appears we have reached halftime, and the score is 71-59 Detroit. So, what can I say about this half? The Heat got outplayed on both ends of the floor, especially inside the paint, which I talked about being a very vital key. But not only that, Miami is getting out rebounded on both ends of the floor, and second chance points they don't seem very often for Miami. So this first half has been somewhat of a disaster for the Heat. Even though they're trailing by 12 in this game, the Heat really need to step it up, not just on defense, but getting aggressive and tenacious on offense and securing offensive rebounds and getting second chance points. Miami also needs to get back to getting to the free throw line for an added boost on offense. So right now we're going to take a break, and I'll come back for the third quarter. This is so disrespectful. And we are back, ready to begin the third quarter. Detroit leads 71-59. Cade Cunningham so far has 19 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins is leading the way for Miami with only 13 points. So this is a very interesting matchup between these two teams. And so far, Detroit has lived and died by not only scoring corner threes, but they have made most of their points in the paint, punishing Miami's defense. So let's see what happens in the third quarter. Detroit has the ball right now. Cade Cunningham recovers the ball. Here comes Cunningham. Misses the layup. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. Detroit will have it side out. All right, here comes Detroit. They give it to Cunningham. And Cunningham knocks down that basket. Cunningham right now has 21 points, 5 assists for the Pistons. And that alley-oop is broken up by Isaiah Stewart, and there will be a foul on the Pistons. Bam Adebayo goes to the line for 2 free throws. Bam misses the first. And Bam makes the second. Bam goes 1 of 2 from the line as Miami trails by 13. Cade Cunningham brings it up for Detroit. Gives this to Isaiah Stewart. Back out to Cunningham. It's a corner 3, and that's a miss for Detroit. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Davion Mitchell. And he drives in the layup. Davion Mitchell so far with 6 points off 40% shooting from the field. Isaiah Stewart misses that three, and that rebound goes to Miami. And another errant pass from Norman Powell. Miami so far with 10 turnovers to Detroit's 11. Here come the Pistons. Duncan Robinson driving in, missing that layup. And here comes the Heat. They got numbers, and Andrew Wiggins gets the layup. Here comes the Pistons now. Cade Cunningham being double teamed. Gives it to Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart gets the rebound and the putback. Isaiah Stewart will go to the line for the M1. And Isaiah Stewart gets the M1. Here comes the Heat now. Tyler Hero has it. Kicks it out to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell misses that layup. And here come the Pistons. And that's a nice layup for the Pistons, as they lead by 14. Asar Thompson with 6 points, shooting 60% from the field. All right, Miami will have his side out. They give it to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell kicks it out to Norman Powell. Out to Mitchell. And he misses that layup. And here comes the Pistons. Isaiah Stewart charges in. But that's going to be a foul on Miami. Isaiah Stewart looked to finish right into the rim, but gets whacked by Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins wanted the jump ball, but the referee saw otherwise. Isaiah Stewart misses the first. And Isaiah Stewart misses both free throws. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins gets the layup. Andrew Wiggins now with 17 points in this game, all 5 for 7 shooting. And here comes Cade Cunningham. And Detroit gets the basket. Tobias Harris getting that one. He has 12 points, all 5 for 8 shooting. And Tyler Hero answers back with a 3 of his own. Here comes Cade Cunningham. That's a corner 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Detroit. Tobias Harris again. And he knocks it down over Bam Adebayo. That's a corner three for Miami. That's a miss. Here comes Cade Cunningham. He gives it to Thompson. And that basket falls. Here comes Miami now. They're down by 15 in this game. And that's going to be a foul on the Pistons. Here goes Norman Powell, missing that three. And the Pistons have it in a hurry. Duncan Robinson going coast to coast, and he gets a layup. And that's going to prompt a timeout for the Miami Heat. The Pistons swell their lead, 86-69. And we are back. Score is 86-69. Detroit. Miami still trying to find out how to be consistent on both ends of the floor. They're trying to figure out how to be consistent on both ends of the floor. And here comes the Heat now. They give it to Davion Mitchell. To Andrew Wiggins again. And Wiggins missing that layup. The Pistons right now on a 13-5 run. Here comes Cade Cunningham. He throws the ball away. And it goes right back to Miami. Here comes Davion Mitchell, guarded by Cade Cunningham. Khalil Ware throws the ball away, and here comes the Heat. Here comes the Pistons. And the Pistons come away with a fast break layup from Tobias Harris. Detroit now with 12 turnovers to Miami's 11. The Pistons right now on a 15-5 run. And that's a 3 on the way. And Norman Powell will knock it down for a rare 4-point play. If I said it once, I'll say it again. You don't foul a shooter when they're going for the 3. And Duncan Robinson knows better than anyone else. So Norman Powell will go to the line for the and 1. And Norman Powell makes the and 1. So the Heat are down by 15. Right, and then he come away with that rebound. Here goes Norman Powell, and that's going to be a traveling violation. So it will go right back to the Pistons. Jaden Ivey comes in the game for Detroit, as Duncan Robinson will take a seat. And here comes, that's going to be side out for Miami. Alright, here comes Bam. Bam gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bam makes the first. And Isaiah Stewart will come out of the game for Detroit. And Bam goes 1 of 2 from the line. Here come the Pistons. Kay Cunningham brings it up to the floor. And that's a basket for Detroit. Here comes Miami. Bam Adebayo getting that layup. Sorry, Andrew Wiggins getting that layup. He has 19 points, going 6 for 9 shooting from the field. The Heat trail by 15 in this one. Kay Cunningham. That's a missed 3 from Detroit. And here comes Bam. Finds Xavier Mitchell. Andrew Wiggins knocks down the corner 3. And the Heat are now within 12. And that will prompt a timeout for the Detroit Pistons. The score is 90-78. Detroit still has the lead, but every now and then, Miami's been knocking on that door, and they're looking to retake that lead. And we are back. Score is 90-78 Detroit. The Heat have a 12-point deficit to overcome, which means that they will have to lock in and try to retake the lead. Andrew Wiggins so far with 22 points, shooting 70% from the field and 66% from three-point land. So far, the Heat's offense is leaning on him for much of the work. And now here comes Cade Cunningham. Passes it out. Duncan Robinson, that's a three. And that's a miss. Rebound for Detroit. Another three from Duncan Robinson. And he knocks it down. And here comes the Heat. Duncan Robinson has 18 points in this game so far. And there's Norman Powell with the basket. Here comes Cade Cunningham again. Cade Cunningham being guarded by Davion Mitchell. That's a step back, and he knocks it down. And the Heat go up. The Pistons go up by 15. There's a three on the way. That's a miss. Rebound by Detroit. Cade Cunningham again. And that's an easy layup for Detroit. Paul Reed with 9 points, going 4 for 6 shooting from the field. And that's a contested three-pointer from Norman Powell. The Heat trail by 14 in this one. Detroit now has the ball. They give it to Paul Reed. He comes up with that miss. Rebound by Miami. They give it to Kelly Ware. Out to Norman Powell. Powell comes away. Powell gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. That one's on Jaden Ivey. Norman Powell sinks the first. And Tyler Hero will come in the game for Miami along with Pala Larson, Andrew Smith, Davion Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, and Andrew Wiggins will all take seats. And those are 2 free throws made by Norman Powell. Norman Powell so far has 19 points with 80% shooting from the free throw line. And Cade Cunningham hustles his way through the layup. Here comes Pella Larson. Kelly Ware comes up big with that rebound and putback. And the Heat draw within 12. And a nice rejection from Kelly Ware, leading to a fast break for Miami. And that will get a layup for Norman Powell. The Heat are within 10 right now. And that's going to be a foul on Miami, and that will send Paul Reed to the line for 2 free throws. Paul Reed makes the first. Nikola Jovic comes to the game for Miami. Cade Cunningham will also take a seat for Detroit. Norman Powell will also take a seat for Miami. And Paul Reed makes both free throws. Score is now 101-89 Detroit. And Detroit comes away with that steal. And here comes the Pistons and a fast break dunk. Things are not going Miami's way right now. And almost another steal, and that will be Heat ball. I'm sorry, that's going to be a foul on Drew Smith. Miami right now are struggling to find any semblance of consistency. Jenkins will go to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first. And he makes both free throws. Scores 105-89 Detroit. Miami gives it to Pelle Larsson. Here comes Jovic, missing that basket. And Detroit comes away with that rebound. That's a 3 on the way. And Detroit knocks down that 3. Things are not looking good for Miami. Here comes Tyler Hero. That's a corner 3 for Tyler Hero. He misses it. But Bam is there for the rebound and the putback. At the end of the third quarter, the score is 108-91 Detroit. And we are back. Score is 108-91, and we are ready to begin the fourth quarter. So far, it has been all Detroit in this game. Cade Cunningham has been leading the way for the Pistons. All right, Miami has the ball. They give it to Tyler Hero. Andrew Wiggins now has it. Gets to the lane. And he comes up short with that layup. So it's going to be a 24-second violation on Miami. And it will be Pistons ball. Here comes Cade Cunningham. That's a corner three from Tobias Harris, and he knocks it down. And the Pistons lead by 20. And here comes the Heat now. Pelle Larsson gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Pelle Larsson knocks down the first. And Pelle Larsson makes 1 free throws. And here comes Detroit. They give it to Jenkins. Detroit is passing the ball around. That's a step back basket, and it is good. And here comes the Heat. Drew Smith to Larsson. To Wiggins. Out to Larsson. Corner three. Tyler Hero. And he knocks it down. And here come the Pistons. And Paul Reed comes up with that basket. Paul Reed so far with 13 points, going 5 for 8 shooting from the field. And Drew Smith will go for the and one. Nice heads up play. And Drew Smith knocks down the and one. And here comes Drew Cunningham. Cade Cunningham missing that 3. Here comes Miami. That's a 3 on the way for Miami. That's a miss. Here come the Pistons. They pass it out to Cade Cunningham. Nice rejection by Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero finding the open man, but no go for the layup. And that's going to be a double dribble on Detroit. So it'll go back to the Heat. Isaiah Stewart is back into the game for Detroit. Paul Reed will take a seat. Tyler Hero. He misses that basket, but that's going to be an offensive foul on the Miami Heat. That foul is on Kel'el Ware. And here comes the Pistons. They give it to Jenkins. That's a three from Tobias Harris, and he knocks it down. Tobias Harris so far with 22 points, shooting 80% from the three-point line. Here comes Larson. And that basket will not count. Nice heads-up play from Jenkins to find Tobias Harris for that three ball. Right. Miami has it side out. They give it to Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero loses the ball, and here comes Ron Holland. He gets the layup, and he will go to the line for the and one. This game has gotten out of reach for Miami. Kate Cunningham comes out of the game. And that will be an and one for the Detroit Pistons. Here comes Miami. Nikola Jovic now has the ball. That's a long three. And that was from Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero with 19 points, shooting 50% behind the arc. And that's another basket for Detroit. And the Heat answers back with another basket. So right now, the Pistons are leading by 20 in this game. We have ourselves a timeout. Pistons lead 125 to 105. This game has gone way out of reach for Miami right now. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It appears that we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on our end, but it is still 125-105 Detroit with 6:34 remaining in the fourth quarter. And we are back. The Miami Heat looking to come back into this one, and they answer back with a basket of their own. Score right now is 125-107. The Heat have less than 6 minutes remaining, and they got a steep climb way ahead of them. Right now, Detroit has the ball. They're swinging the ball around. They give it to Kate Cunningham. Looking to do something big. And that was going right back to Miami. Right now, the Pistons going to the line for 2 free throws. They make the first. And it's now a 19-point game. And they make both free throws. So it is now a 20-point game. Miami looking to answer right back. So far in this one, they're relying on Andrew Wiggins and Tyler Hero, as well as Norman Powell, but they really need more effort on both ends of the floor. And the Heat trail by 18 in this one. And the Heat are now coming back into this one, but they trail by 16 in. And right now the Heat are answering back with another basket. And Adebayo getting himself involved in this game. They come away with a steal. And the easy layup. Andrew Wiggins coming up big for Miami. And that will prompt a Pistons timeout. The Pistons lead 127-113. And we are back. Score is 127-113. Detroit. But Miami so far have been trying to fight their way back into this one, but it's still an uphill battle. Let's see if Miami can continue their momentum swing. Detroit now has the ball. Ausar Thompson is directing traffic. Gives it to Isaiah Stewart. Here's Cade Cunningham. Cunningham misses that basket. Miami now has the rebound. Davion Mitchell brings it up to the floor. Comes Davion to Bam. And I think that's going to be a foul on Detroit. So Davion Mitchell will go to the line for 2 free throws. Davion misses the first. And Davion goes 1 of 2 from the line. The Heat are within 13. Okay. And that's going to be a foul on Davion Mitchell. Detroit will have his side out. And Cade Cunningham gets the layup. Cunningham now with 27 points. And that's going to be a foul on Detroit. That will send Andrew Wiggins to the line for 2 free throws. Andrew Wiggins makes the first. Andrew Wiggins makes the second. So we now have a 13-point game for Detroit. Miami with 18 turnovers in this one. Detroit with only 17. And Miami comes away with a steal. Miami swinging the ball around. And they come up short on that possession. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Passes it out to Robinson. And Duncan Robinson gets a layup under duress as the Pistons go up by 15. And that's a basket for Miami. Bam Adebayo getting the hook. He has 13 points, shooting 50% from the field. And that's another steal for Miami. And what a nice alley-oop exchange from Norman Powell to find Andrew Wiggins for the and one. So far, Miami still has a chance They still have a chance in this game, but it's going to take a lot of effort for them. And Andrew Wiggins knocks down the and-one. And so far in this game, Miami is starting to make a comeback. They're on a 14-4 run right now. That's a 3 on the way for Detroit. That's a miss. Rebound by Tyler Hero. Gives it to Norman Powell. And he gets the layup. And here comes the Pistons. Their lead is dwindled from 20 to 8 right now. And it's stolen away by Davion Mitchell. He has numbers. But Detroit comes away with a steal. It has been a frenetic pace right now. Davion Mitchell coming up with a steal, but botching the layup. That could have been huge for Miami if he made that. Tobias Harris goes to the line for 2 free throws. He misses the first. And he misses both free throws. So here comes Miami now. That's a long 3. And Tyler Hero sinks the long 3. And we now have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The Heat trail by 5. So it's now a 10-0 run for Miami. It is edge of your seat time once again. The Pistons lose the ball, but they will have... The Pistons lost the ball, but it was knocked out by Miami. The ball was last touched by Bam Adebayo. He should have let that one go right out of bounds. That one should have been last touched on Detroit, not Miami. And so now we have ourselves a coach's challenge to see who touched the ball last. So let's see who touched it last. It bounced off of Bam. See? Yes. Ball was... Looked like it came out of Detroit first. Can't really tell from this vantage point. But it looks like it last left the hands of Detroit, not Miami. So let's hear what the officials have to say. So I think the ball will go right back to Miami. With 10 seconds remaining. Not much time, not much they can do now. They're gonna have to go for a 3-pointer, a steal, and hit the 2-pointer for the win. Or to tie the game up, I should say. I don't know why there's 10.8 seconds remaining when there was more time left on the clock. I think that may have been a mistake. Alright, there we go. 1:08 remaining in the fourth quarter. Alright, so Heat will have his side out. Alright, so here we go. Edge of your seat time, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to be a foul. And that will send Norman Powell to the line for 3 free throws. But yes, it will be 3 free throws for Norman Powell. A gutsy call to bring themselves back into this one. Norman Powell makes the first. Norman Powell makes the second. And Norman Powell will sink the third. It is now a 2-point game for Detroit. The Heat now on a 30-10 run. And here comes Cade Cunningham. And Jenkins gets the layup. So it's now a 2-possession game. And we're going to have ourselves a timeout. Score is 133-129, Detroit. This has been another close game so far. Another edge of your seat, nail-biting thriller. So we will be right back for the final moments of this game. Yes, indeed, Hellbeast. It is an absolute nail biter. It's going to come down to the final possession of the game. And we are back. Score is 133-129 Detroit. Miami will inbound the ball. Miami has 1 timeout left. Detroit only has 2. Here comes Norman Powell. And Bam Adebayo's there to get the rebound and the putback. So we're now back to a 1-possession game. Here comes Cade Cunningham. Cunningham knocks it down. And that's going to prompt another timeout for Miami. Okay, Cunningham coming up big in the clutch. And we will be right back as the Pistons lead 135 to 131. And we are back. Score is 135-131. Detroit. Miami no longer has any timeouts. Detroit only has 2. And here comes the Heat. They have a side out. They give it to Norman Powell. Norman Powell, he gets fouled. No, it was last touch out of bounds by Miami. Hold on, wait for a second. Let's see what happened. Yeah, it was out on Norman Powell. And that was going to be a costly one. So the Pistons will call timeout here. We're still at 135-131, Detroit. And we are back. Score is 135-131. Detroit now has the ball in their possession. This one could go either way. Right? Miami went for the intentional foul, and that will put Jenkins on the line for 2 free throws. And Duncan Robinson is entering the game for Miami. Sorry, for Detroit. I'm not sure what's going on. Jenkins knocks down the first, and that'll be a 5-point lead for the Pistons. So it looks like Jenkins put 1 of 2 from the line. Miami has a 5-point deficit to overcome now, but this one looks like it's going to be over. Tyler Hero goes to the line for 2 free throws. He sinks the first, and that'll be a 4-point game for Detroit. And Tyler Hero makes both free throws. So now Miami will have to get another intentional foul, and hopefully get two missed free throws in their possession, and a quick 3 to tie the game. Hero makes both free throws, and we got ourselves a timeout. And Detroit has used all their timeouts, so it's now 136-133 Detroit. And we are back. Score is 136-133 in favor of Detroit. And there's an intentional foul by Miami. So that will send Jenkins back to the line. Jenkins makes the first. and Jenkins makes both free throws. Here comes Miami. And they get the layup, and that will end the game. The final score, 138-135, Detroit. You talk about a close game, you talk about down to the wire and down to the last possession. This game was it. There are a few things to take away from this game. The first is Detroit definitely came to play. But not only that, they established their dominance within the paint, something that Miami needed to do right away against this Pistons team, but they never did. Miami relied too much on getting the three ball to go in, as well as finding the mid-range. But if you're up against a very physical team like Detroit, who thrive on attacking the paint, then that's what you need to do. Like in the games prior to this one, Miami attacked the rim as well as securing rebounds. However, I felt like Detroit had more rebounds than Miami in this game, which really hurt them. And even though the Heat went on a tremendous run in the fourth quarter, what really hurt them was their inability to get baskets when they needed it the most in the second and third quarter. So that's one thing. That's another thing that hindered them the most. And aside from Kate Cunningham having another stellar performance, Miami did manage to reach the free throw line a lot. Even though they should have done more of it for the third quarter. I mean, this game got away from them in the early second half, and they never recovered. So whenever these two teams meet up, I always expect a close game. That's all, and that's how it's always been recently between these two teams, dating back to late 2003. So again, Miami's 7-game winning streak comes to an end, unfortunately. But if there's one thing to take away from this, is that even though Miami lost, they proved they feel like they belong on top of the East with teams like Detroit and Cleveland and New York. And dare I say, this could be a preview of a possible playoff series, maybe a second round series, or even more daring, a conference final showdown. But either way, this was an absolute nail biter, and unfortunately for the Heat, things did get away from them in a very tough situation. So for the Heat, Norman Powell led the way. Norman Powell had 28 points. Andrew Wiggins led the way with 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Kelly Ware came off the bench with 12 points, even though he should have been a starter alongside Bam to provide some length and some strength. Tyler Hero had 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And speaking of Bam, he had a double-double of 15 points and 10 rebounds. And for the Pistons, Ausar Thompson had a near double-double of 10 points and 8 rebounds. Tobias Harris had 26 points and 4 rebounds. A returning Duncan Robinson had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Ron Holland came off the bench with 10 points, Paul Reed had a double-double of 13 points and 10 rebounds, and Kate Cunningham with 29 points and 8 assists. So this one was a tough loss for Miami, but a gutsy loss at that. This shows that Miami can definitely provide some competition in the East. But the next time they meet Detroit, they're gonna have to be a lot tougher and a lot more physical. And the next time we see the Miami Heat play again, it will be Monday when they host the Los Angeles Clippers. That game starts Monday at 7:30 p.m. and you can watch that game on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and on NBA League Pass. Again, Heat Clippers, Monday night at 7:30 p.m. on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and NBA League Pass. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and leaving only one comment, but I want to thank you guys for tuning in for the play-by-play and giving you guys up-to-the-minute stats and whatnot. Up-to-the-minute stats and analysis, I should say. You know, it's the holiday weekend right now. You guys should be thankful, should be blessed. Look out for one another. Take care of one another. Always give to one another and receive. Always be kind, no matter what. Because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Take care, everyone. God bless. And as always, go Heat. I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.